thank you to our wonderful host, Lydia. I'm BluMagma. As she mentioned, I'm the current world record holder of Pokémon Sapphire any percent. This is not glitchless. This is, you know, all rules are kind of off the table. We just beat the game as fast as we possibly can. And then I've got my wonderful partner and commentator here, bloojei.
Hi guys, I'm bloojei. I'm so excited to be commentating. BluMagma and I are so excited for you to showcase this run to you. So I'm gonna get comfy on this couch. This couch is really comfy. But this is a hopefully less than 2-hour run. So get comfy. We're in for a run full of jam-packed glitches and hopefully some fun stuff for you guys. So yeah.
All right. Hope you all are excited here at TwitchCon. Great to see everybody here. So I'm gonna go with, let's see, we're at 405, 10,405. I'm gonna go with frame 5 just to give a little shout out to all the wonderful donations that have come in. And then I'll count down from 5 and we'll start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off. So, you know, I'm sure most people know of Pokemon. Pokemon Sapphire specifically is the 3rd generation. It's the first game in the 3rd generation of Pokemon games. It's the first game that features the Hoenn region, which has a lot of brand new Pokemon. Right off the bat, we're gonna actually choose the girl. Playing as the girl is faster for a few reasons that we'll get into later. One of them just happens to be text boxes. So you all have contributed a ton to that starter bid war, and we're kind of gonna need to know the final results of that right after we get out of this truck here. We're somehow, you know, sitting in the back of a moving truck. I'm not sure how that happened, but...
Nah, it's fine. She's fine.
She's chilling.
That starter is Mudkip.
All right. It was close. It was back and forth the whole time.
It was super close. I am really excited for Mudkip. Mudkip is the Pokemon that you usually use in Glitchless as well. Swampert is really strong, but we're actually not gonna be using Mudkip the whole time. As you guys know, we're gonna be using Tentacruel in about half an hour-ish, but Mudkip's still super useful, especially for the first gym leader that we're gonna fight, which is the Rock Gym, Roxanne.
And sorry to, you know, any of the fire starter fans out there in the audience. Torchic is, you know, all 3 of the Gen 3 starters are really cool, let's be honest, but Torchic kind of does not cut it against Roxanne. You know, fire is weak to rock, and having to spend a whole bunch of time leveling up just to become a Combuskin is not really optimal. But it is pretty interesting that both Mudkip and Trico are pretty equally viable for this category.
In different ways too. Trico, you actually have to manip the Roxanne battle entirely, but with Mudkip we use slightly different strats.
Yeah, so Trico is a very, very new route. That's actually the current world record route that I used. It's honestly quite a bit harder than the Mudkip route, so I'm a little relieved that we're sticking with Mudkip. But yeah, with Trico, you actually go into the gym battle at level 8 and end up winning the fight, which is pretty incredible. But Mudkip gets a little bit of extra experience and just through sheer willpower can win pretty easily.
So here we're gonna do our first RNG manipulation. You'll see that BluMagma soft reset the game, and you'll see that clock-based events no longer occur because we have a dry battery. This basically allows us to know exactly what RNG frame that we're on or trying to hit. And in BluMagma's ear, he's got a little timer that lets him know which frame that he needs to hit. And so these stats look good so far. We're gonna check. We're 1 frame early? Late. It's a little hard to tell because you'll usually be able to tell because the Poochyena will always be female, the Mudkip will be male, and should have 21 HP. But there is one nature that is 1 frame late that has the same looking stats. So we're looking for that 21 HP male, and we're looking for naughty nature.
Yep, so this is a 1-frame window at 60 frames per second, so it's pretty hard. And I have a little, basically a metronome in my ear that helps me time these inputs. So this could be it, or it could be kind of the troll mudkip, which it looks like it is again, based on that damage. Yep, 1 frame late again, so I'm just gonna adjust my metronome just by a little bit to hopefully get that to line up a little better. A 1-frame window is less than 17 milliseconds at this frame rate, so it's pretty tough. This could be it. We'll double check. Oops. There we go.
That's it, yes.
A few tries, but we got there.
Nice. Can we have a hand for BluMagma?
Ooh. That is just one of the first Pokemon manipulations that we're going to be doing throughout the run. Some of them will be easier, some of them will be harder than what you just saw now.
Yep, RNG manipulation is super, super powerful in these games, especially with a dry battery, as bloojei mentioned. That keeps things consistent because your initial RNG seed will be consistent. So RNG, it's a little more complicated than this, but generally it just advances by 1 value per frame. So if you can hit a frame perfect window, you can guarantee the same random outcome every time. And so one thing that we won't actually get to show off here, but you would do in a world record attempt, is an encounterless manipulation, which we might have actually just gotten it through sheer luck. But if okay, you hit the mudkip frame, so you can know how the frames are going to advance going forward. And so you could actually go through this entire route without getting any encounters, which is pretty cool. Luckily, we shouldn't get too many. I think we can only get 1 more. Maybe 2 no, only 1 more.
Nice.
Perfect, okay. I am gonna save. You can die to the first rival fight of the game. You can die to the first trainer battle. It happens more often than you'd think.
There are lots of early game battles that can actually just be run killers, even though it's literally just the first trainer you fight.
Yeah, so Sapphire is, a lot of people consider one of the hardest Pokemon speedruns out there. Definitely, at least in like the first few gens. Both in terms of execution, which you'll see some of that later. But RNG manipulation is execution based, and then also just RNG in general. There are some things you can't manipulate, and there are a lot of very scary fights. Luckily for us, we won't really need to save too much once we get our Tentacruel, which again, make sure to get your votes in, get your donations in for that nickname. That'll be coming up in maybe 20 minutes or so.
We've got a tight battle here between Squidward and Mr. Tickles. It's a $2 difference down at the bottom.
Wow.
And don't let Tentakind scare you. It's a cute name, but do we need cute with Tentacruel? Come on, we can blow that away.
Yeah. I will say, in the we're all speedrunners here, or speedrun fans in some form. The longer the name, the more time loss you give us. So, there's trade-offs. I understand Tentakind, that's a creative name, but, anything that can save some frames would be nice too.
Yeah, and that is why we actually name our player A, is just because every little character is just 1 more frame that goes by. So we name her A just so we can get by a little faster. And it actually does impact our RNG manipulations a little bit.
Yep, one of the incentives we were thinking about was, choosing the Mudkip nickname or the Trico nickname, whichever one ended up being used. But we realized there's a lot of downstream effects from having a longer nickname that just makes it really hard to do in a marathon, like bloojei said. Because of how RNG works and a name taking an extra frame to print, it can impact how that works. So you'd need to, have a manip prepared for every possible length of name, which is a little bit unrealistic. So one mechanic that a lot of people don't know about in Ruby and Sapphire, and I believe in Emerald as well, after you get an encounter or have a battle, you actually have 4 tiles of encounter immunity. So if you were to get a encounter, at the start of a patch of grass, and then you ran through 4 more patches of grass, you can actually never get an encounter there. So there are some times where we can actually take advantage of that. And that's why you'll never really see like an encounter and then instantly running into another encounter. They just kind of did that so that you're not constantly, trying to run away.
So you might be wondering why we saved right before this fight, even though all this guy has is a Zigzagoon. We actually speed tie the Zigzagoon, so there's a chance that it can tackle us or growl us and decrease our attack, which is super slow because when they have our attack, we have the damage we do to it. So that just increases the amount of turns that we need to defeat this Zigzagoon.
And that was our first example of a tackle missing. If you're a newer gen Pokemon player, you might be confused, but in the older gens, tackle is actually only 95% accurate. Okay, that's 2 95% accurate misses in the same fight. That's awesome. So yeah, this fight can be really, really bad, especially with that speed tie, having a 50-50 to go first just makes it really inconsistent. But we survived, albeit very slowly.
We just had a bid war move. Morn Glory has taken the lead with $225. You tend to kind people. You gotta get in there and knock them down.
So you might have heard that weird bonking sound there. Okay, and I actually took 2 extra steps, so I'm gonna save 2 extra steps right there.
And step count is going to be really, really important, especially when we're catching our Tentacruel.
Yes, step count has a factor in RNG manipulation in certain scenarios. And this Tentacruel is pretty crazy to get, so everything has to be lined up perfectly. So here, this is actually our dad. Our dad is a gym leader. And he isn't at home very often. He basically lives at the gym, but he is pretty strong. And he's gonna tell us, hey, go take this random kid and teach him how to catch a Pokemon.
So any donations that can be read here would be fantastic.
Yes, we have a $17 donation and 12 cents from Steven. And sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. I'm just excited. In addition to donating for my favorite, number 133 Eevee, I'll donate another $382 for the index of the move with my favorite name, Me First. So, folks, donate with your favorite Pokedex Pokemon.
That's very interesting. I've heard favorite Pokemon. I haven't heard index of favorite move before. That's a good idea, though. So yeah, this tutorial has some amount of depth to it, but not really. Generally, you just kind of wait. There is a very, very small chance that Wally can kill the Ralts, which saves a significant amount of time, but it is very, very small. And with how RNG works, it can't really happen in a normal run. There have been efforts to create an RNG manipulation for it. It's still in progress. One downside of RNG manipulation is that it generally is going to require a save and quit, which takes time. But speaking of save and quit, we're going to do it again.
We're going to go into our second Pokemon manipulation. We're going to catch a Pokemon with this save and quit.
This is mind-blowing to me that you have all these steps you have to track and all this save and quitting for the perfect times.
Okay.
Wow.
This may not work. Yeah, okay. I think I was 1 frame late on that. So this is not frame perfect. This is much more generous. But this is for a specific Pokemon. Oops. Okay, I think this will work. Okay, I'm gonna move my offset a little earlier. This is sort of just a necessary consequence of, setting up for a marathon. I'm on different audio equipment, all that good stuff. So Might not hit first try on everything.
Oh.
Okay, that was my fault. There's so depending on if you do Mudkip or Trico, there's actually different movement for this manip, and so it's hard to keep all those in my head at once. That'll work.
There we go. So yeah, we're trying to catch this Wingull, and this is a very specific Wingull, has the exact stats we want, because we are going to use it for the Roxanne gym. Not for Roxanne, but for one of the trainers before it.
That's unfortunate.
We're going to try to YOLO ball, I think?
Well, yeah, we'll weaken it and catch it manually. So there's a manipulation to guaranteed catch the Wingull, but it doesn't always work. If you do it correctly, it should work, but you know, sometimes that audio is just difficult. Okay, good.
Yay, there we go.
No nickname for Wingull, unfortunately. She's not really important enough.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that was a mistake on my part. Well, we'll get another try to actually do the Wingull YOLO ball correctly.
So that is an optional. There is a way to manipulate the way the NPC looks so that you can just walk right past it. In that instance...
That's what I tried to do, but failed. Hopefully my timing was a little better here. We'll see. No, I think I'm early on this, most likely, but that's okay. So another complication of RNG manipulation is that RNG moves twice as fast when you are in a battle, but it then slows down to normal speed when you are in a menu like a bag. And that makes things really difficult when you're chaining multiple menus together, like when you're throwing a Pokeball or something. It adds a whole bunch of variance.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah.
We have a $50 donation from Asuka. Water starters are always the best starters, less than 3. Thank you, Asuka, for that donation. And folks, don't forget that when you donate, you can scroll down. You have to click the select incentive, and then you can enter the bid wars and select which name for that Tentacruel, which is coming up in what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes. So you got 10 to 15 minutes to pick your favorite name for that Tentacruel, and it's going to be important.
I definitely agree on the water Pokemon part. I'm a Gen 4 girl. I'm a Piplup girl, 100%.
Mudkip is really, really great in this game, I won't lie. From a speedrun setting as well. There are no grass-type gym leaders in this game, which, you know, Marshtomp and Swampert are 4 times weak to grass, but that's their only weakness. So you really don't have to deal with, like, a really hard gym. Okay, that's a little scary. I'm glad I have potions.
This Aquapooch in particular is so annoying, has killed so many runs because it loves to spam Sand Attack, and Sand Attack lowers your accuracy by 1 stage each time you use it. So I think it's used it twice now.
Yeah.
So the chances of that happening are way greater, and it's done it again.
Yeah, and it just builds on itself because you miss, and then it Sand Attacks, and then you're more likely to miss, and then it Sand Attacks, and it just happens over and over and over. And it's, even if you don't die straight up, I kind of have to risk this here. That's unfortunate. I might die. Yeah, double critical hit. Okay.
It was like 3 crits.
That was pretty
whole
crazy.
battle. It was crazy.
Yeah, I can't really afford to use another potion here. I need it for Roxanne. So I can heal once, but I can't really afford to heal twice.
The music is a banger, though.
I love the Gen 3 music. It's like one of my favorite video game soundtracks. So yeah, a lot of the resetting of this category comes in the early game, because once you Once you get kind of into it, once you get to the mid-game, things become more consistent, and it's more execution-based rather than RNG-based. Another sand attack, of course. It's random AI on this trainer. Some trainers have random AI, some trainers kind of do some calculations to know which moves would do the most damage. Okay, we see both sides of tackle missing there. Okay, awesome crit. Good job, A. Let's go A, the Mudkip.
Yeah.
Was that double tackle miss from Pooch? That's a 1 in 400 chance. This is a crazy run in terms of RNG already.
All right, but we got through it.
We got through it.
Ugh.
Second try's the charm.
All right, now we're headed to Roxanne, the Rock Gym.
Yep, so we helped this random employee of some company not get kidnapped or robbed, I guess. We're gonna pick up this ether. Be useful later. Now, if we were using Trico, we would grab Bullet Seed from that guy on the left. Mudkip enjoyers won out today, though, so no Bullet Seed.
I just noticed that adorable plushie in your hands. Are you going to be holding that up the whole time?
Yes, of course.
Oh my goodness.
I have Trico here. He's on the couch with me. He's just sitting there, though.
Trico's just, you know, watching from the sidelines today.
He's a little spiteful. It's okay. All right, so this is where Wingle is actually useful. Not only will it be our flyer, but it's used specifically for this fight. Because right now, our A, our Mudkip here, doesn't have any water moves, and that's kind of a problem for a rock gym. So Wingle here is going...
I forgot that I didn't heal Wingle. Okay, this might get a little spicy.
Spicy, that's okay.
How are we gonna do this? Oh, we do this. This is normally not what you would do exactly, because you would normally catch Wingle at full HP, but this is kind of our backup.
Yeah, so this Wingle already has a water move, so it can weaken this Geodude just right before it's dead. And so that will allow our A to come in and kill it and steal all of the EXP that Wingle would have got. And that actually allows A to level up and get an actual water move, which is really, really important.
Yep, it's a super cool strat where normally you would lead with Mudkip and then send out Wingle, it would take a hit, and then you'd water gun, it would take another hit and faint, and then Mudkip would be there to finish it off right at red HP. It's a super cool strat that actually is only in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, like it's not in Emerald. So that's something that's unique to these two games.
I just got notice that we've opened a milestone here. If we hit 12,500, then BluMagma will be showing us a glitched trainer fight post-game. So folks, if you want to see that, which I do, I would love to see that, make sure you're donating now during this run.
Yep, that trainer fight is very silly. It's pretty cool. I am gonna fight this trainer here. It's not required for this route, but it's sort of safer just with the low potion count that I have. It also saves me 2 steps, which I will need to keep track of for later.
I thought you already took 2 extra steps, and then you saved them?
I did save 2, but fighting this trainer is
Oh, I got you.
2 steps shorter than going around the long way.
I got you.
So yeah, Mudkip generally fights 1 or 2 of those gym trainers. Trico fights 0 of them, which is like the main time save of Trico. But Mudkip has an easier time on other fights, so they've both got pros and cons.
We have a name for the bid here with just B. So if y'all want to make Magma's life a little bit easier, bid for that one.
All right, so most of the time if we get crit here, we die. So we need to not get crit. And That's kind of just get lucky. We could actually kill here if we're really lucky, which would be huge. Nice.
Oh,
wow.
let's go.
That's very unlikely. That's awesome. So Roxanne has 2 potions that she can use during that fight, and as long as she's below 17 HP, she will always use a potion.
And that just makes the fight so much longer.
Yeah, that fight can be super, super slow if she burns through both potions, because 17 HP is right around the point where Torrent Water Gun can start to kill, and so if you're anywhere below that, she'll heal. So you need a really precise HP for that to happen. And then I brought up Torrent, which is another big factor in this run. Do you want to explain what Torrent is?
Yeah, Torrent is a ability that a lot of water Pokemon starters have. When they are under 1/3 HP, their water moves are powered up by a lot. So we love being in that 1/3 health range.
And we're actually going to intentionally take an encounter here instead of repelling. I should probably potion. There is a chance that this could kill me. Okay, if it crit, it would have. I need to tackle. That should be good. Need a Great Ball.
So we're catching Pokemon here. That's not usually what you would expect of like at any percent. And in glitchless, you don't catch any Pokemon here, but we do need it to perform our glitch that kind of breaks this game.
Yep, and we'll get more into the glitches soon once they kind of become more relevant. Oops. Just gonna repel here. So another trick you can do to pass optional trainers in this game is something called a bag manip, which is just standing 1 tile away from them, and then when they're not looking in your direction, you just open the bag, close the bag, and then unpause, making sure that you don't like run, because if you run, they'll always see you.
But that will guarantee that they never look at you,
Yep,
which is really cool.
It's a really easy way to avoid optional trainers if you don't feel like fighting all the trainers in the game. There are a lot of ways to, and there will be some pretty cool ones. The Mach Bike. The Mach Bike is kind of like the fastest bike in any Pokemon game. It's pretty hard to control, but you can do some really cool stuff with it. So this is the same annoying trainer that we fought in Petalburg Woods earlier. Luckily, we have stronger moves now, so he's a bit of a pushover. That's one fight where Mudkip is actually better than Trico, because Water Gun is always just going to be a 2-shot. But with Trico, you're lower level, you don't have a super strong move like Water Gun, so it won't always be a 2-shot.
I heard that BluMagma likes puns a little bit, or is okay with them. So if anybody has any Pokemon puns, I'll try my very best to read them. And make sure you're selecting the incentive for the bid war, and every donation you put in counts what? Puns, triple, bid war, double, and then, oh, I'm counting backwards. And then also for the milestone for that glitched fight. So make sure you're donating. Give us a pun to read. I would love it.
Okay, I actually did not mean to fight this trainer. Speaking of optionals, there's a pause manip setup that I did where it requires reaction time, and I kind of reacted too slowly to the fact that she quick spun, but that's okay. This will save 1 step, so it's just something I need to keep track of later. The extra experience shouldn't matter. I just need to keep it in mind. Oops, we're gonna wait for him to turn. So some optional trainers are actually called rotators instead of spinners. Rotators consistently spin in the same clockwise cycle, and so they're really easy to pass. So this is actually the same guy that we saved in Petalburg Woods. And now we're talking to the president of Devon Corporation. So we're moving up in the world pretty quickly.
he gives us, a 12-year-old, a whole task to do. He wants us to deliver a letter.
Yep. So we need to actually leave the continent that we're on, the landmass that we're on, go to an island, and deliver a message to his son. So, you know, it's questionable in terms of ethics, maybe, but I believe in us. We can do it.
We got this.
So, very important here that we go into the Pokémon Center. And that'll be for something pretty soon.
We have some love for you. $25 from Aknomi. Watching from the audience in the back, can you say woo? Yeah! And first time watching live. Love the stuff and good luck, Magma.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, we're not quite out of the woods yet, but difficulty is coming down a little bit. There's so much to keep track of in the early game of this run with step count and HP and potion count and all that stuff. And then on top of that, doing movement correctly, which, you know, you could see it's not always easy. And then RNG manipulations. But we'll actually be done with RNG manipulations relatively soon. So here's a pretty cool one.
Get one more Pokemon before our, before our Tentacool.
Yeah, so that's a good reminder, folks. Make sure if you want, do you really want this Tentacruel named Morn Glory? I don't know. At least Tentakind or maybe B. Come on, folks. Make sure that you're supporting able gamers, getting us towards that cool glitched fight, and naming this Pokemon a cool name.
At least if it's B, it's like B for BluMagma.
Ah, yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I've been a little bit late on all my manipulations today, which, yeah, there's a whole lot that goes into that.
Yeah, so we're getting an Abra. Hopefully this yellow ball?
Hopefully. This catch window is pretty wide, but, you know, so is Wingull, so hopefully things don't break. Awesome. Okay, that's good. That's a big deal. Oof.
So Abra is kind of the reason we went into that Pokemon Center and just went back out. With its ability teleport, we can teleport to the last Pokemon Center that we went into, and that will be really important. Sometimes it's way faster just to teleport to the nearest Pokemon Center than to run all the way to where we want to go.
Oops. One little bonk there. Sometimes you'll hear that. Sometimes bonks are actually intentional. There's something in this game called turn frames, where if you're at a stopped position and you try to turn to a different direction, like move in a different direction, you won't actually move instantly. There'll be an 8-frame animation that plays before you actually start moving. But by bonking first, you can actually cancel that animation. So sometimes it's important to do that, or sometimes, you know, it's faster to do that. But sometimes it's just difficult movement. So yeah, we had to go through that cave without flash, which lights up the room and makes it a lot easier to see. But once you learn it, you get pretty good at going through that cave with just that little circle of light around you.
I still think it's hard. I don't know.
Okay, and now we could actually fight Brawly, who's in that gym down there at the bottom of the screen. But we're gonna come back to him. We're not ready for him yet. You know, we're still a Mudkip. We're still a little baby. We're growing up. We'll come back with something stronger.
We will need to fight him eventually because in order to fight Norman, our dad, we need 4 gym badges in order to come back to him before he's actually willing to acknowledge us as a Pokemon trainer.
True.
Bad dad.
Yeah.
True. Unsupportive,
His
really.
own daughter.
B is climbing up there. It has $50 now.
Whoa.
So keep those donations coming in. Thank you so much for the support. And thank you all for donating for these names. I really appreciate it. And Able Gamers does too.
All right, now we talked to him to open up this museum. We're gonna pay $50 to go into this museum. Kind of pricey. We're gonna talk to this random dude.
And even though he's our enemy, he just gives us a TM for free.
And then we're actually gonna leave. I decided I was not interested in this museum.
But yeah, that one Aqua Grunt is part of the reason why this game is so broken and these glitches work. We'll talk more about what that TM is in a bit, and we'll also find out why Blue just bought a bunch of mail in a bit as well.
Yep, so mail is actually what breaks the game. It's pretty crazy. Something that, you know, a lot of people never even used when they played through the Gen 3 Pokemon games actually ends up being super, super useful. Okay, and then we need to reorganize our party a little bit. And then I took one extra step to account for that trainer, and then I saved 2 steps, and I got the longer path, which means that I need to, let me check, I need to take 6 extra steps. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So if I counted everything correctly, we should have the exact step count that we need. And then we're gonna save for this. And this might not look like it, but this fight actually is the start of breaking the game. This will actually glitch the game in a pretty not obvious way. So we're just gonna tackle and thief here. We wanna take out this Lotad quickly. We got the range, so that's not guaranteed to kill. It's about an 80% chance. Growth is good. And now, very important, is we use Thief on Mudkip. So a little bit of friendly fire, but this is crucial. So the game is now glitched in some form, and there'll be some really cool ways that we abuse that coming up very soon. So all it looks like is that Abra stole our Mudkip's mail, and you know, seems like that should be something pretty normal, pretty expected. But you'll see here. So this is a very difficult RNG manipulation, arguably the hardest one. But this is for our Tentacool. So we're gonna need that name soon, in about a minute. So any last minute donations?
Yes, we have a $25 donation from Striker2264. Hey, I'm in the crowd today. Are you still here? Hello. Hi! Hi, Striker. And good luck. Also, I have a Pokewalker on me with Marsh Stomp in it, funnily enough. Isn't that perfect?
Wow.
That's awesome.
For those of you that don't know what a Pokewalker is, it's a pedometer. I had to look it up. Do you need to know the name?
Yes.
Okay, it is unfortunately Morn Glory.
Okay.
With a capital M and a capital G. Nice. They $225 to name that Tentacool. Thank you all so much for those donations and the support for Able Gamers. Give some hype in the yeah.
All right, so here's the hard part. Oh, that's 1 frame late. That's unfortunate. So that's a 2-frame window, and this manipulation is really, really hard. So that whole time that I was running was all planned out perfectly. All of this movement has to be done correctly every time to get the correct RNG lineup, and then we have to hit a 2-frame window at the end. So it's pretty hard. Yeah, at the end it's a 2-frame window. The frame that we hit would have given us a Tentacool, but it would have been the wrong one. It would have been worse stats, and we need good stats for this run.
And you might have saw our player do a little something weird, something that's not usually what you see our Pokemon player doing when she's running around.
Yeah, you got a little spoiler there of the first glitch that we use, and that is walking on water.
Yes, we call it tile corruption because we change one of the tiles that's on the edge of the water, and we change it into a walkable tile so that you're actually able to walk across that tile onto the water. So.
Okay, let's. That might work. That might have been one frame earlier.
We'll see.
Ah, that was
close,
that's
close.
unfortunate. That was my fault. I messed up the movement. I had the frame. I hit the 2-frame window, and then yeah.
We have another donation for you if you.
Yeah.
Yep. Go
Sure.
ahead.
We have $25 from Meek Rhino. This run has had some wild RNG, good and bad. I think we need to manipulate the unlock glitched trainer RNG by donating to able gamers. Yes, folks, every donation that you put in to support able gamers not only helps people have better accessibility to games regardless of their disabilities or needs, but you are also contributing to that milestone at $12,500 to unlock the glitch trainer fight.
Yeah, so being able to walk on water here is super, super cool because we wouldn't be able to access any of the Pokemon on there until we got the rod, which is a little later in the game. So we can actually catch a level 35 Tentacool, which is great because our Mudkip is not nearly at that level yet. So that's...
Yep. It's a huge level boost, and it's a super hard manip because of how long it is and how precise it is, but it has to be because of a ton of different factors. But I mentioned earlier, RNG is kind of based on frame, so each frame that the game is loaded will have a different outcome, and the outcome for this specific Tentacool is a very late frame, so that's why we have to start this manipulation so early and do all of our movement perfectly. Let's get it this time. No, that was a frame early, or a frame late again. That's unfortunate. This is again the hardest manip of the run. We're getting close though.
It's worth it, 100%.
I believe it is. This run has required so much counting and manipulation. It is so impressive. Can we have some hype in the audience for BluMagma and all these cool tricks?
Yeah, I guess on the bright side, you get to see us walk on water a bunch of times, so that's pretty fun. And that's literally happening because you can see in that menu, we're taking that mail from our Abra. Our Abra used Thief on Mudkip to steal that mail, and then removing it actually corrupts that one specific tile to allow us to walk on water, because that tile doesn't have collision. And we actually are going into the Pokemon Center during a manipulation, which never happens. Oh, shoot, that was really bad. Ugh, okay, I'm gonna lock in.
It's time to lock in.
That glitch, so glitches in general in this game, at least on the English version, are very new. They're like less than a year old, and I actually am the one that found it on the English version. So there's been a whole bunch of developments since then of just trying to find the best route and trying to find the best way to use these new glitches. So things are changing every day, and we're even changing like starters, which starter we're using, which is a significant change. So there's so much development that's going on in this community for this game.
Yeah, it was originally known that this glitch could only be done on the Japanese version, but the fact that it can be done on the English version is so cool because it kind of allows it to be more accessible to people like us, And so yeah, like using Trico probably we didn't even know that it could be possible until like maybe a month or two ago. So the fact that we can use it now is super, super cool.
Did we get the trick?
I gotta hit this ball throw.
Okay.
If this gets in, we're good. Yes, okay,
Yes.
let's go. All right.
Fantastic.
Let's get that nickname. It's
Morn Glory, M-O-R-N, capital G-L-O-R-Y.
Love it.
all right. That look good?
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so you can see that tile on the ground there. It became this gray tile with no collision, and that's what allows us to walk on water there. For the people that want to really understand how that RNG manipulation works, there's something in this game called methods that determines how a Pokemon is generated. There are a few different methods, and it has to do with re-rolling the Pokemon's nature to find a valid nature, and the amount of times that happens changes the method that you get. So you need that re-roll to happen. It's technically a sub-frame level manipulation because we need a frame to advance in the middle of that re-roll calculation to get the method that we need. So it's super complicated to actually find that setup. For a long time, we thought that this setup could not get the good method that we want. And then Keeping It Icy, one of my good friends, shout out to him, through accident had a wrong step count on one of his runs and was like, oh, I just got the good method without even trying to. And so we kind of reverse engineered what happened there, and now we can actually do it consistently. I say consistently, it took us a few tries, but that's how it goes with a 2-frame window.
But still being able to be consistent enough to do it RTA in a real-time attempt is really insane.
Yeah, being able to do it at all was something we thought was impossible. We had a previous route that actually caught the same Tentacool in Slateport, where it's easier to get that method to line up. But we actually didn't know about that single tile corruption that we just used until pretty recently. And so we figured out that it's faster to use that tile corruption for getting our Tentacool and then just running back. So now we've got our girl, our queen. Morn Glory. And she just stomped Brawly's gym. That's so satisfying. If you've run or watched a glitchless run of this game, Brawly is one of the worst fights. And one of my favorite parts about this category as a glitchless runner as well is that you just get to destroy a lot of trainers and gym leaders that normally give you so much trouble in glitchless. It's honestly kind of cathartic to just take your anger out on them after how many good runs they kill. But yeah, this Tentacool is really strong. So the way that stats work for each Pokemon is there's an IV system that goes from 0 to 31. And this Tentacool has 27 special attack, so very high special attack, and 27 regular attack or physical attack, which are both very good. And then there's also something called natures that each Pokemon has that I mentioned earlier, but natures also influence your stats. They increase a stat by 10% and decrease a stat by 10%. So our Tentacool here is Modest, which increases our special attack, which is very, very important. We need as much special attack as possible. Unfortunately, it decreases our attack, which is not ideal. We would rather have something like a quiet nature or a rash nature or a mild nature to avoid that minus attack. But again, with how RNG works, there's no real way to do that without waiting for like 10 minutes to try to hit the frame, which at that point is not gonna actually save any time. Some of you, if you're big Pokemon fans, you might think, can you use Synchronize? Abra is a Pokemon that has the ability Synchronize. Synchronize is known to change the nature of a wild encounter that you get to match that Synchronize user's nature. So if you had a mild Abra, the encounter that you get would also be mild. That actually does not exist in Ruby and Sapphire. That is an Emerald onward only thing. So a lot of those abilities that have uses outside of battle do not actually have any use in Ruby and Sapphire. So there's no way for us to do that.
We have a donation from Ace Squirrel for $25 in the audience here. Love all these, love all these audience donations. Thank you all so much. I played Sapphire as a kid, and it's so interesting to learn about all these tricks to manipulate and break the game. Really fun so far. I agree. It's been super fun to listen and learn, and thank you for getting us closer to that milestone for that glitched fight. We are just under, math. We're less than $2,000 away. We can get that, right, folks? Can we have some hype? Can we get it? Yes.
Yeah, that fight is super funny. There is a Pokemon in that fight that most people have probably never seen before. We'll put it that way. Even if you've played all the Pokemon games, you probably haven't seen this Pokemon that will battle, so getting to that would be very cool. So that's a pause manip set up there to pass that spinner. That's the kind of the opposite of what happened when I fought that Meryl trainer. Was he can spin quickly, and then when you pause, he's facing you. You have to do the setup again. But yet, if you don't react quickly enough, you might just try to go past him without noticing that he's already looking at you. Luckily, he did not quick spin this time. And now we're fighting Brendan. This is Rival 2. This is going to be a lot easier than the first Rival battle. Oh, that's a huge crit. That's one of the few things that our Tenta cannot one-shot in the kind of the early stages. That's the only thing that's a two-shot, at least for the next several fights. So that's big time save. And we get to see, Trico. He's growing up, but on the other team, unfortunately. At least he's still in the game,
yeah,
so Trico fans, at least, yeah, that's your consolation prize. So this trainer, there are different types of spinners in this game. That trainer is a certain type that actually cannot be, you can't just run and then walk, which we did on some other trainers. You actually do have to do a bag manipulation there. And now we get Rock Smash. So Rock Smash is an HM. If you played any of the older Pokemon games, you probably know what HMs are. I don't remember if HMs are in like Scarlet and Violet, but HMs are certain moves that are required to progress in the game. So Rock Smash, as you might guess, lets you smash rocks. There are certain rocks that are blocking your path, and that's the only way to get by them. But you can't just get them. You actually have to have the proper badge to use them. So even though we have it, we can't just advance in the story quite yet.
But now we have the bike, and we have the Mach bike now, so we can go super extra fast, and hopefully in this kind of section, we'll be able to see some super cool movement with the Mach bike. It's really satisfying.
Yeah, the Mach bike is super cool when you do it correctly.
The one kind of off thing about it is that it does take time for it to accelerate. So if you do kind of bonk into a wall or something, it does take time to speed up again. So, All
right, and there's a little something there. Yep.
Explain what that is?
That's a glitched mail. We'll put it that way. It's in our mailbox. I guess you could argue it's junk mail, spam. But that is another thing that will break our game. So mail is really at the crux of the game-breaking glitches in this run. It's really interesting because all you really do with mail is you can type little messages in it, and it was intended to send to your friends. Like with the link cable, you could trade with your friends if they also had a Game Boy, and just like trade Pokemon and send cute little messages to each other. I don't think I ever did that as a kid. I don't know how popular mail was as a feature. I'm pretty sure it wasn't super popular, but it is pretty funny how just a small little feature like that ends up being kind of the crack in the wall that we need to break this game.
Yeah, we're thinking because it was kind of put into the game kind of at the end of development. That's kind of why they might not have checked everything, like any securities in the game, so they might not have known it would break it like this.
Yep. So I'll give an abbreviated explanation of what these glitches are actually doing. So we saw that tile corruption earlier that let us walk on water, which is obviously super cool, but what actually caused that? So each Pokemon, each Pokemon has a number associated with it. That's the male slot. So you have 0 through 5 because there are 6 possible Pokemon you can have in your party at once. And then if it doesn't have a male, it's set to 255. And then the way that the game accesses memory is it looks at that number, that slot number, and it says, okay, you're slot 2. We need to go to slot 2 in our memory, and that's where we'll store all the words and the name and yada yada. Not teach barrier here. And then we're gonna get our Tentacruel. We're gonna evolve here. So I get a little more time to explain while this happens. So basically what happens is there are some ways that we found to not properly set that male slot. So when we thiefed that male from Mudkip onto Abra, we did not actually assign Abra that male slot value. It skipped that process because it was thiefed during a battle instead of equipped the normal way. And so that means that it still has a slot number of 255, which then when the game goes to get that location in memory is way, way out of bounds to where male data would normally be stored. So that actually ends up corrupting map data or tile data. And so that's where things can get really broken.
Yo, experimenting through this has been so interesting because you can actually soft lock yourself with this glitch. You can make it so that the tile that you're on becomes like a door, and so when you save, quit, and come back, you actually just come out the door, and you're just in the middle of nowhere and you can't go anywhere, so you can just soft lock yourself completely.
Self-destruct was actually really good there. That saves us a turn. We don't have to spend a Bubble Beam actually taking out that Voltorb. And we also save a Bubble Beam PP because each move has a certain amount of PP, which is power points, the amount of time that you can, or the amount of times that you can use it. And that count is kind of tight on Bubble Beams throughout the run. So saving as many as we can is pretty nice.
We are getting close to an hour into this fabulous run. Folks, we are really, really close to $11,000 for Able Gamers Foundation, less than $200 away. Do you think we could get a $6 donation train that takes off at 60 minutes? So you have 3.5 minutes to get your donations prepped and ready so that we can all take off at 60. What do you think about that, Blue and Blue?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
All right, folks, get your phones out, get your tabs ready, and prep those donations for that 60-minute mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of saw Blue like get off the bike and get back on to pass the trainer. That is another type of trainer skip. We call it a run to bike. And so when you get off the bike and run a little bit before the trainer, that allows the trainer to look at you, and then you have, I believe it's a 4-frame window to get on the bike and bike across, and it's guaranteed that the trainer will never see you.
Yeah, so it depends on how you do your setup, but basically there's a series of inputs you need to do. You need to stop running, so you have to actually stop on the proper tile. Then you have to press select to get on the bike. Then you have to start pressing left again, or whichever direction you need to go. You need to start moving again. That all has to happen within a 7-frame window. So if you are doing everything frame perfectly, you have a 7-frame window to get on the bike. But you know, it's gonna be hard to do all of that frame perfectly.
Sometimes you can get lucky and the trainer will just like turn away from you or not actually turn, and you don't have to be in that 7-frame window. And like, what can I say? If you know, you know. Getting lucky is not a crime. That's
an inside Pokemon speedrunning community joke. Shout outs to everyone in that community that has really just made everything great.
A minute and a half before that train takes off. I hope y'all are ready. $6.
Now we're just gonna do some shopping. We finally got some money now that we've defeated a bunch of trainers.
Yep. And I'm just gonna buy a couple extra safety potions and healing items and stuff, just in case, because it's, you know, marathon luck can always happen.
I am not above doing Pokemon sounds with donations, by the way.
Okay. Me neither.
Okay, all right. So
Yay.
BluMagma is down for doing Pokemon sounds too. So if you want to add some Pokemon you want to sound for to those $6 donations, get them in there. You can hear it from us.
Okay, that's probably the hardest movement section in the whole game in terms of dodging optionals. There's like 3 or 4 optionals that, probably like 4 optionals that we have to dodge with very precise movement all in one go, ideally without stopping. There were a couple bonks, but honestly, that's pretty standard for this route. Doing a perfect movement on this route is really hard. Honestly, I'm just happy with not hitting any optionals. That's the hardest part.
All right, almost at an hour.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Hopefully number go up to $11,000 here. Everybody ready to hit that button?
Oops, that's not what I... Just wanted to check out our Ninkata real quick, make sure he's doing okay. So yeah, you'll see another example of the run to bike setup pretty soon.
Oh, we can actually use...
Ooh, look at that number go. Thank you all so much for those $6 donations. Keep them coming. Choo-choo.
That was really close. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cable car cutscene.
All right, there's a very small chance that an NPC can show up on this mountain. Unlucky.
I've still never seen it.
I've seen it maybe twice in my several years of running this game.
Yeah, and glitchless BluMagma has, I believe, over 4,000 attempts of glitchless, which is insane. So the fact that he's only seen it twice is crazy.
Yeah, the glitchless runs in general of Pokemon are much more reset heavy, just because you're so much lower level, you don't have kind of glitches to take advantage of to get a really strong Tentacruel, for example, like this. So there's so many more fights that can just kill you with a bad crit. The thing I like about any percent is that the reset chance is lower because, you know, those early game fights, as we saw, can be kind of bad and the execution can be hard. But if you nail the execution and you make it through the early game, then the rest of it is relatively consistent. So it's a lot easier to finish a run. So we're climbing this mountain. This is a volcano, just to give you a little bit of context. If you don't know the story of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or the story is slightly different in Emerald, but in Ruby, Sapphire, there's an evil team. In Sapphire, it's Team Aqua, and they want to fill the world with water. They believe that there needs to be more water and less land on the planet, and they have a lot of ideas on how to do that. One of them is turning off the volcano, I guess you could say. I don't know exactly how they plan to do that. I don't think it has like a power button on it or something, but they have some machine that I guess can do it. That machine over there to his right.
Not ironic, but it's quite interesting that we've got Mudkip. We're water Pokemon folks, and we're fighting Team Aqua here. Thank you all so much for those donations, by the way. Thank you for going with us with those trains. We are just over $100 for 11,000 raised for able gamers. Thank you all so much.
Yep, and then the other team is Team Magma, which no relation. But
not affiliated.
I chose my name before I even started speedrunning this game. But they're in Sapphire, they play the voice of reason, and they kind of try to stop Team Aqua from doing this bad stuff. Okay, that's a good crit. That actually matters sometimes. And then in Ruby, it's reversed. So Team Magma wants to fill the Earth with more land, wants to get rid of the water, and then Team Aqua tries to stop them. So yeah, that critical hit's bad because it's slow, but the critical hit on the Golbat actually mattered for kind of a interesting reason. If you don't know much about the specific mechanics of battling in Pokemon, there's something called damage rolls, which means that your move will not do the exact same amount of damage every time. In Gen 3 and most gens, it actually rolls 16 different possible values. Okay, that was kind of bad movement. Sorry, I was talking. So it'll roll those values, and then it'll pick one, and that's how much damage it'll do. And so it can range from 100% of its normal power to 85% of its normal power. And that Golbat, if you get one of the 3 lowest rolls, will actually survive. So it's good that we got that crit, because you never know, we might have low rolled.
I've got a bunch of $6 donations. Let me know when is a good moment to read them.
Yeah, this is a good time. This will be a pretty easy gym.
Perfect. We have a $6 donation from Migrino, buying my ticket to the 60-minute donation trainer. It is Pokemon after all. Anonymous, thank you for that $6 donation. Alien Crustacean, thank you for the $6. Keep them coming. The train's still chugga-chugging. Leg Out, thank you so much for the $6 donation. Watching in the audience, first Sapphire glitched run I've seen. Let's support some gamers. Yes, thank you. We have $6 from Agnomi. 60 minutes, you got this, Blue. We have 6 from Amala, longtime viewer, first time watching live in the back. Thank you for running one of my favorite Pokemon generations. Can I get a Jinx from the couch? Lesson 3.
Oh, a Jinx cry?
What is a Jinx cry?
It's, oh gosh, I'm gonna get it confused with Hypno. Hypno's like, blah, 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 blah. Or is that Jinx? I don't remember actually.
Isn't it like, or something? We have $6 from Keeping It Icy. BluMagma is such a hero for the Sapphire community and the most dedicated Sapphire runner I know. Can he do Delcatty's cry during the Petalburg gym? Ooh. Keep it up, BluMagma and bloojei. Smiley face.
Much love, Icy.
Much love, Icy.
Oh my goodness, we just got a $402 donation. Woo! Putting us way past that $11,000. Now we're getting close to $1,000 for that glitched fight. 402 from A Pleasant Possum. Thank you so much. Donating for y'all to give me the iconic cry of 402 Cricket Tune. They gave a little Will y'all do it for me?
I love Cricketune. Was the first shiny I ever got. So, do you want to do it together?
You do it first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Love it.
All right, and very soon we're gonna see a really cool use of this glitch that even casual players would honestly probably love, especially if they don't enjoy grinding for level ups. Super Repel now. And we'll also use a Paralyze Heal because we're paralyzed.
Yeah, and this is the reason why we bought a bunch more Harbor Mails. You would only need one to do the Tile Corruption glitch, but we got a few more just for this reason.
All right, there's our interesting item. Oops, that's actually the wrong thing. Let's do the rare candy. So we're giving all of these Pokemon males. We're just keeping our messages short and sweet.
I love it when I receive a letter and it just says Abra.
Yep, my favorite. And then we're leaving. So yeah, that's kind of the easiest rare candy to get. Trico has a different method of getting a rare candy, which is interesting, but that's a pretty good one too.
Another instance of run to bike.
Yep. All right, we're going to super repel here, and now is where things get a little crazy. So what? We're trying to switch our rare candy and our harbor mail, but it's not working, question mark? And our mails are disappearing, and our Tentacruel still has a rare candy, and this is just still happening. So this is pretty weird. And this is one of the biggest glitches of the run. This is a huge time save. So you can't actually see it in the bag yet because we're scrolled too far up. But all of these are actually giving us rare candies. So we are duplicating rare candies, essentially. Each mail is becoming one rare candy. So we're going to get enough of these to kind of steamroll the rest of the game. Just enough. We really hit just the minimum threshold of level to hit a variety of certain fights.
Which one rare candy raises our Pokemon's level by 1, so.
Yep, and this is pretty easy to set up even on a casual save, as long as you have a Pokemon with Thief or Covet. Those both work. And then I mentioned earlier how each mail has a slot associated with it. So by giving each Pokemon a mail, we've actually filled all of our slots because of the weird glitch we did where we thiefed a mail from Mudkip. So there are actually now 2 mail slots being filled by Mudkip, and so that means that there's 2 with Mudkip and 2 on Tentacruel, which means that all of our mail slots are full.
How many approximately do you think you're doing here?
So we've got 24. We need 4 more.
Gotcha. Thank you. And when is the Petalburg gym? Petalburg?
That'll be pretty soon.
Okay, perfect. Just a reminder to Del Caddy.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, and now we should have 27. One more. Okay. So because all of our mail slots are full, the game cannot properly equip a new mail onto our Tentacruel, and so it goes through the process of giving us what item it's holding, but then it fails the process of actually swapping the items. So you get a rare candy, but then you never actually exchange the rare candy with the mail. So we're gonna do some tricky movement here.
We are only $1,100 away from that incentive, the milestone now. Oh my gosh, we're moving.
Oops, I bonked. That was almost really good.
That first part was
The first part was really clean.
We'll blame that on me.
Not bad though. All right, and now all of these rare candies, just to prove that they are in fact real, they work. So we're gonna go to level 64. That just gives us just enough special attack and attack for certain things, which we'll mention later. But yeah, we'll do this for a few minutes. We're just kind of gonna be giving rare candies. We're gonna teach Hydro Pump once we get to that level. Hydro Pump is 80% accurate, but it's really strong, so it's pretty good for this run. And so yeah, while we do this, if there are any donations, we'll just be chilling for a little bit.
Yes, for sure. We have a $25 donation from Miles. Thank you so much for that support. We have a belated $6 donation from myself on that train. We have we have a poor friend that was incredibly disappointed with the with the Mudkip pick. Captain Slothbeard, $25, wanted Trico, donated twice for it, but no Trico. We have a $26 donation from Bradderfield. Hey friends, it's been fun watching from the crowd. Oh my gosh, Brad, hi. I was once learning leaf green, so may I please hear some Squirtle cries?
Oh gosh. You're testing my knowledge here. What does...
I have no idea.
We need a lookup or something.
Let me look it up real quick. And in the meantime, $50 from Alex Rex. First time at a live GDQ event. Hello, welcome. I love seeing the support for the Able Gamers Foundation while playing my favorite Pokemon game. Oh, thank you so much, Alex. And it was a Squirtle, we're looking it up?
Yep. Oops.
Okay. The Chain, thank you so much for that $5 donation. Watching from the audience, I bet you can't do Skunk Tank's cry without laughing. Do y'all know that one?
Yeah.
What is it?
That
no.
one sounds like flatulence.
Oh.
It's like...
So you did lose there. Here's the Squirtle cry, I think.
Oh, and here comes Delcatty real quick.
That was good.
That's kind of just a cat. That's kind of just a really angry cat, like you just stepped on its tail or something. I love doing Pokemon cries on my own stream. I do them all the time. I have like a channel point redeemed for it. My favorite one is probably Numel.
Oh, can you show us?
Always got to do the Numel.
Numel is a...
Wah, wah.
I got Squirtle. I think it's like a... well, let's play it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Gen 1 cries are hard. People that can actually recognize a Gen 1 cry and be like, oh, that's Squirtle, that's impressive, because they're hard to tell. Yeah.
The only one I know is Geodude.
Yeah, Geodude's good.
Does someone want to donate for Geodude? We'll get to hear it.
Very interesting little optimization there. We actually went to the right. There's a whole bunch of different trainers you can fight. You need to fight 3 in this gym, and we're going to make it to our dad, Norman, soon. But you have to fight 3 trainers. And we actually, in Glitchless, we determine which trainers we're going to fight based on how fast we can do it, based on, what their moves are and what their stats are and what items they use. These are some of the few trainers that can actually use items. And so normally we fight a trainer in Glitchless that does not have any healing items but uses an X defense, I believe. Yeah. But in this run, that doesn't really matter because we one-shot everything anyways, so we actually fight the trainer that has a healing item instead because it won't use the item at the start of the fight, and so that actually saves that text box.
Right, we're fighting Dad now.
All right, first kind of RNG factor, or like big RNG factor of Tentacruel is Hydro Pump. We're gonna need to hit 1 on the second Slacking. Slacking is crazy. For those of you that don't know much about Gen 3, Slacking has the stats of a legendary, essentially. Like, it's on par with box art legendaries, like Kyogre and Groudon. Nice, we hit the Hydro Pump. Very nice. So Slacking is super bulky and super strong, so we actually need Hydro Pump to kill it. Even though we're like 30 levels higher, Bubble Beam just does not cut it. But we're through Norman. That's our 5th badge already. Slacking is balanced by the fact that it has Truant, which is an ability that means that you can only act every other turn. So it's, it's kind of like a glass cannon, I guess you could say, except not really glass, it's more just like a slow cannon.
Yeah, slow cannon.
And we abuse that a lot in Glitchless by using those Truant turns to set up. But with our beautiful Tentacruel,
our queen,
we're strong. All right, and this house here is actually Wally's parents' house. Something interesting about this house in Ruby and Sapphire is you can actually use it to soft lock the game, or you cannot use it to soft lock the game by not going into it and teleporting back to Dewford. That will mean that you don't have Surf because you have to talk to Wally's dad to get Surf, but then you'll be in Dewford and you'll have no way of getting Surf, so you'll be stuck on that island forever, which is kind of funny.
That's so sad.
But luckily now we have Surf. Surf is super, super good. It's just a really strong move.
And it's an HM, so you need it anyway to beat the game.
Yep, you need it anyways, and so it's like, not Super Potion, I wanted Super Repel. There's, yeah, really no downsides to it. It's really strong, it's 100% accurate. And I also need to teach Strength to Mudkip before I forget. Get to enjoy the music a little bit. Run to Bike coming up here. That might have been a little slow.
Got lucky?
Maybe, yeah. But as BluJei said, there's only a 1 in 8 chance that they actually spin in your direction before you get past them, even if you were a little bit slow.
Have I totally missed it and we've met Steven already? My boy Steven?
We have met Steven a couple times, yeah.
Well, my bad.
We actually just met him again.
Perfect, perfect. We have a $25 donation from Haas Das Boss. First time watching a Sapphire run as a longtime GDQ fan. It's awesome to finally be in the audience for once. Oh my gosh, we have so many people here. Thank you. Good luck to Magma, and for everyone in the audience, is Trico your favorite? If Trico is your favorite, give me a hell yeah. Yeah. Thank you for donating. We are so close. We're getting so close to that extra showcase at the end of the run, the glitched fight. Folks, keep those donations, keep that support for able gamers. I really would love to see that, and I'm sure that Magma would love to show it to y'all.
Yeah, that fight is very funny. It's kind of like the true final boss, you could say. You know, we'll beat Steven, the champion, and then I won't spoil it, but
It's just the true ending.
yeah. It's honestly, I can't even spoil it. If I tried to tell you that trainer's name, I could not. It's complicated. All right, and then this is the Weather Institute. So this is more of just something that Archie and his minions are working on. They want to take over the Weather Institute because they think
It can control the weather or something.
Yep.
Make it rain.
And we're actually going to get one last Pokemon here. We are not entirely done.
We don't have to manip it.
Yeah, this one is kind of forced onto us. You can avoid it if you have a full party, but it's actually really useful to have it, and you'll see why in a little bit. One benefit of this Tentacruel is Clear Body. Clear Body is such a good ability. It's crazy how good it is. There's so many Mightyenas in this game that have Intimidate. Intimidate lowers your attack, and Clear Body ignores any special or any stat drops from opponents, which is really, really powerful.
Super useful.
There's,
Yeah, we get Cast Form.
Yep. There's plenty of them, so it's not really any cost to them. So we save the Weather Institute. They're kidnapping scientists. Not very pog champ of them. And now this will be our last time fighting Brendan, our rival. So any Trico/Grovyle fans in the audience, say goodbye. It was a good run. You fought well.
But fun fact, we never actually see Sceptile. Brendan, whenever we fight our rival, he never has a Sceptile. It's kind of sad.
Oh, there's a wah-wah for you.
Yeah.
Numal. So yeah, Surf is actually stronger than Acid in this case. Acid is not guaranteed to kill this Wildmer, but Surf actually is, even though it's not very effective. Yeah, it's kind of weird that in Ruby and Sapphire, there's literally no way for your rival to have a fully evolved starter. They just never have it. They get like really close. They get to like level 34 or 35, and then there are no more fights. So. and then we're gonna enter one more Pokemon Center. Anytime we're entering a Pokemon Center, it's generally not to heal, it's to set our teleport point, which, you know, we've been using Abra to teleport around a few times already. And that teleport point is only set when you enter a certain area's Pokemon Center. We're gonna Super Repel here, and then we're gonna find one of BluJei's favorite Pokemon ever. This cutscene's kind of funny too. So here's Steven again. All right, we have to show him our true power as a trainer. Get ready, this is gonna be an intense battle.
I love Kecleon. Get ready for this one. Oh. Bye.
I see, your battle style's intriguing. Yes, it's an interesting style.
I've gotten really far being able to do that one.
I'm glad he recognizes it.
Another run to bike.
That was pretty clean movement there. There's a lot of trainers you can hit right there. Lots of runs die there. Teach Fly now. Wingull finally gets to do something.
He's been fainted this whole time.
Yeah. I actually could have done a safer setup there, but
Why would you?
we did not have a skill issue, so
Exactly.
we're just that good.
And we kind of just dipped in and went back. That's just so we can quote unquote discover that city so we can be able to fly back to it later.
Yeah, that might have looked like I was just lost and didn't know where I was going, but that was intentional. We go one tile into Lily Cove, just so that triggers the flight path. So now, after we fight Winona is the badge that we need to actually use Fly, we can fly there straight away instead of needing to bike all the way back from Winona's gym. A little bonk for the fans.
Yeah. Here's just a little more story, fighting more aqua grunts. They're no problem for us.
Yeah, nothing too interesting here, so if we have more donations, now's a good time.
We do have a $6 donation from Tati. Yay. Love you guys so much. You're doing so well.
Much love, Toddy.
Thank you, Toddy.
We have $25 from Forever. I've been playing Pokemon since 1999, and you're telling me there is one I haven't seen? I have to see this glitched trainer fight. Yes, folks, we are just over $1,000 away, over 90% of the way to that goal. We have about 30 minutes or so to get that. So folks, make sure you're donating. Every donation that you put in goes towards that milestone. So support Able Gamers, support Magma and Blue. Tell us how great they're doing and get us that extra fight.
Yep, and on that topic, there's been huge discoveries in this game. None of them apply to any percent, but there is some of you may have heard of arbitrary code execution. That was not known to exist in Ruby and Sapphire outside of trading with a copy of Emerald that already had set up glitches. So you couldn't do it if you just had a copy of Ruby or Sapphire. That is now changed. So we can now do arbitrary code execution on a single copy of Ruby or Sapphire. You don't need anything else. You can do it on your own. It's pretty crazy. There's so much cool stuff that you can do with that. It's going to have big implications for catch-em-all, which is another category that I like. That won't really be shown here just because the setup is kind of long.
But yeah, arbitrary code execution, super cool. Lets you do basically whatever you want in the game. You can put whatever code you want in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of the mother of all glitches, some people say. And yeah, Other than that, yeah, the setup is pretty complicated, so we won't do it today. But if you're interested in that and you want to, for example, say you want multiple starters, say you want the best of both worlds, Trico and Mudkip, and maybe even Torchic, you can actually use this new glitch to respawn the starter bag and get another starter. So you can literally, like, the game becomes your oyster. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be making a tutorial on that sometime soon if you want to learn how to do that yourself. So now we're in Winona's gym. This is the 6th gym leader, so 2 more to go after this. And you might be able to tell she's a flying type gym leader. And we'll kind of just be solving these puzzles for a little bit. All these gym trainers are kind of pushovers.
We have a couple donations here, $25 from Striker2264. Thank you so much for supporting Able Gamers. Folks, if you don't know much about Able Gamers, they do so much amazing work making sure that folks with all sorts of needs are able to play games with you, are able to perhaps even speed run all these games and make sure that everyone has equal opportunity. They work hand in hand with devs. They make custom controllers for people. You are really helping gamers just like you play games just like you when you're donating to Able Gamers. So thank you so much for this support.
As someone that's developed a game, accessibility can be something that is easy to miss if you don't have, you know, people helping and people looking out for that. So that's a huge thing, is having an organization that can actually help with that and make progress.
Oh yeah, and having something that someone that devs can reach out to get information is so important. And just a reminder, folks, we are $1,021 away from that goal, that milestone. We can definitely get there. Can we at least get to 11,500 total in the next, I don't know, 3 minutes? Can we get those $21, folks? Can we get there? Thank you all so much for that support.
So this fight is kind of an interesting example of why we go to the level that we do, because you could, in theory, go to level 100, right? You can duplicate as many candies as you want. Mail is dirt cheap in this game, so it's not like it's a money issue or anything. So there's been a ton of routing that goes into what exact level do you want, because, you know, when you can go, when there's 100 levels to choose from, that's a lot of options to look through, figure out which one is actually optimal. And so that fight was an example of why we're doing this experience route. There's a kind of a weird mechanic with level ups where you'll get more of a stat bonus at levels ending in 0, 3, 5, and 8. And you'll see like significant jumps in how much damage you do compared to like if you're level 62 compared to level 63. And so by hitting level 65 perfectly in that fight, that actually lets us two-shot that Altaria. Altaria is very, very bulky, and our best move to hit it is Acid, which is only 40 base power, not very strong even at such a high level. So that was a big point that we kind of routed this level around, and then the next gym leader will also be a big example of that.
Yeah, one of the previous routes of this game actually did go to level 100. We thought it would be a lot better since you don't, like every time you level up, you don't have to go through like the level experience bar going up. You don't have to go through any animations to show you like, oh, what new stats you have. So originally we thought it would be faster just to get to level 100 and not have to deal with any of that again. But now because of the damage boost we get from being at certain levels, that kind of changes.
Yep, and I did a little detour there. There is a pretty cool glitch movement that is, it's like 30 frames slower or something like that, but it's so cool that we gotta show it off. And it doesn't really lose much time to go for it. It'll be pretty funny, and that'll be after the next gym leader.
Thank you all so much for listening to my call to action. We are now above $11,500. Thank you. Less than $1,000 for that glitched fight at the end of this run.
It would be so cool if we get to showcase that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, it's such an interesting setup.
Just so silly.
All right, now we're flying to Lily Cove. This is why we did that little detour before. Oh, and there was our rival. You might have seen him on screen for like half a second. We're gonna ignore him. We don't need to go to the department store today. All we need is mail. We don't need anything else. And this is one of my favorite songs in the whole game.
It's groovy.
Very good song. The movement in here is pretty easy because you actually cannot run. I'm mashing B, I'm holding B. You can't actually run, so it gives you plenty of time to make the right turns. And if you do everything right, you will not fight any trainers until the end. You walk right in front of her, but she is, I don't know, looking at her phone or something. This is the only trainer that's required in the Aqua Hideout. He's looking pretty buff. We have just enough acids. When we flew to Dewford, we actually got Sludge Bomb, which you can only get after Norman, and it's not really convenient to get it before Winona because we don't have Fly yet, so it'd be a big detour. So we just save it for after Winona and take the 2-shot on the Altaria. But Sludge Bomb is really, really good, and we'll be teaching that shortly. One mechanic that's in Gens 1 through 3 that changed in Gen 4 is the physical special split. If you've played like competitive Pokemon or Nuzlocke and stuff, you might know about that. That means that in Gens 1 through 3, the move that you use, whether it's physical or special, is not dependent on the specific move. It's dependent on the type. So, for example, Ice-type moves will always be special. Water-type moves will always be special. Poison-type moves will always be physical, which means that our Sludge Bombs aren't that strong, just because Tentacruel has way higher special attack than physical attack, but it's still really useful for certain things that resist water-type attacks or are just really bulky on the special side. And so it's nice that we get that option. I believe Sludge Bomb becomes special in later generations. I might be mixing that up with Sludge Wave. They added a whole bunch of sludge moves. There's also just a move called Sludge, so it's kind of confusing to talk about. But yeah, so that's a difference between Gen 3 and Gen 4.
And here we have Steven's house, which is a table, a chair, and some rocks. So Steven Stone really showing who he is.
He has nothing but a table, a chair.
He's a simple man, but he's my man.
He's a minimalist.
Yeah. We can all learn a thing or two from Steven, maybe.
I can appreciate some minimalism.
Yeah, he might be important to the story. Spoiler alert.
We are now far less than $900 left for that. Y'all are putting those donations in. Thank you so much for supporting Able Gamers. Let's make that milestone happen. I'm excited to see this Pokemon that we've never seen before.
That trainer, I hate that trainer in Glitchless. It has basically a 10% chance to kill any run, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I love one-shotting it and outspeeding it in any percent. It's very nice. And then Tate and Liza as well. I hate Tate and Liza. It's the most complicated fight in all of Glitchless. There's like a 10-page document that Wave Warrior, one of the community members, wrote about it, and that still doesn't really cover every possible scenario. So it's super complicated in Glitchless, but it won't be that bad here.
It's kind of crazy that it's so complicated when it's a double battle, but they only have one Pokemon each, so it's just 2 Pokemon, but it's still super complicated.
And then we're going to teach Sludge Bomb here. We're going to say goodbye to Acid. Sludge Bomb is basically just a direct upgrade. It's just stronger. It has slightly less power points. But yeah, it's stronger. It has a chance to poison instead of a chance to drop defense, which neither of those are really that relevant. But all right, and then this is a 13 and 16 chance here to one-shot the Lunatone. We kind of need to hit it. If not, things can go a little south. But we also have Cast Form in the back as our backup, so maybe Cast Form will be able to help. Powder Snow. So in case the Lunatone doesn't die, okay, hopefully our Cast Form survives. Solrock will always die. We need Cast Form to get off this Powder Snow. Don't hit my Cast Form. Okay, good.
Yes.
Morn Glory fell asleep.
That's okay.
Let's go Cast Form, carrying the fight at a severe level deficit. Our little blob. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about Cast Form, it comes with a Mystic Water, which in Gen 3 is a held item that boosts water type attacks by 10%. And so that's actually super useful for Tentacruel to get a little bit of extra damage. That bonk was intentional, same with that bonk, to skip turn frames. All right, and now is where things get a little silly. It should work. Yep. I'll do both of these to be safe. So, a lot of question marks. Here we go. This is one of my favorite uses of the mail glitch in this game. We are biking on water. We don't just run on water, we bike too. This is, yeah, such a silly use of the glitch.
I love it, it's awesome. And it's clearly much faster than if you were just to surf.
Yeah, the downside is the setup that it takes kind of eats away at the time save, which is why we don't do it in most any percent runs. But it's actually really, really close. The time save from going on the bike is almost makes up the time loss from actually setting up the glitch. It's really close. So just for the sake of content, we'll take the small time loss. We should stop. All right, now we're in Seafloor Cavern. This is like their new hideout, I guess. It's more so where they're trying to find Kyogre. And Kyogre is the box art legendary in this game. It's kind of the guardian of, or not the guardian, that might be Lugia. It controls the seas, it controls the rain, it can do some crazy stuff. It's really powerful. In the speedrun, it's actually much better than Groudon for a variety of reasons, which is why in Glitchless, Sapphire is used over Ruby. In any percent, we won't actually use either of the legendaries, so it doesn't matter. There are some small benefits to using Sapphire for any percent, which is why we're on Sapphire today.
Why would we need a legendary? We have our Tentacruel.
Yep. Our Tentacruel is legendary in our hearts.
Right.
And that's what matters. I forgot to wake up. That's okay.
Just a small reminder, folks, that our couch and our runner have agreed to do some Pokemon sounds for donations. So I just want to remind you a little bit. Every time that you donate, you are also contributing to that milestone. We are so close. We have about 20 minutes left to get that. So keep those donations and ask for those Pokemon sounds. Send those Pokemon puns. I need more Pokemon puns in my life. And we're gonna meet this milestone and showcase off a really cool glitched fight.
Cool little puzzle here.
This still just like blows my mind. I still don't think I could solve this if you gave this to me right now.
Some of you might have seen like the viral Twitch clip of a fish actually discovered a glitch in that puzzle. It was like a fish plays Pokemon sort of thing where depending on the fish was swimming, it would use a different input. And there's actually a glitch that I don't think anybody had discovered before this fish, where you can actually duplicate one of the boulders. It doesn't really do much for speedruns, but it's kind of funny that a fish managed to discover it before anybody else.
I can't believe a fish found a glitch before I did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Clear body, again, saving some time. In terms of actually avoiding the attack lowering effect, it's not super important here. It is important on some fights, like the Archie 1 fight, it's important. But it also saves time. So even if you don't care about the attack drop, not having the animation play of your attack dropping is kind of slow. So avoiding that does save a few frames each time that it happens. All right, and we perfectly hit 66 here. This is part of the route. And then we're gonna use a couple of what I like to call bonus candies pretty soon to hit level 68. Because again, that level ending in an 8 gives you a significant boost to your damage.
And here, for some reason, Archie thinks that the red orb instead of the blue orb will activate Kyogre, but instead it just makes him angry. That's so crazy.
Yep. So, not sure what his thought process was. Red orb, blue fish monster thing. I guess it's got like the red sort of veins.
Right.
But, you know, questionable logic to say the least. So now we kind of get some peace and quiet for a little bit. But now we get some kind of creepy music. And so Maxie, the leader of Team Magma, is telling Team Aqua, why the heck did you do that? That was kind of a dumb idea. Now the world is flooding. Kyogre is mad. He is going to flood the whole region. And then here's Steven again. So it's up to us to stop this and fix their mistakes.
It's up to us to stop it and fix their mistakes and reach this milestone. Folks in the audience, can we have some hype for everyone in the audience? Some hype for the folks at home watching, some hype for the runner, some hype for everybody raising money for able gamers. Let's get this milestone. We can do it. I know we can.
We're surfing. No water biking here. There is a setup that you can do to water bike, but it's a little bit too slow and it's frame perfect, so we're not gonna spend a whole bunch of time going for that. We've already seen how frame perfect tricks can can make things slow. Nice,
Smooth
perfect
movement.
The rappel normally doesn't wear out there. It wore out a little earlier because I did the water biking section, but yeah, doing that movement perfectly without any bonks is so satisfying. It's so fun. All right, and then that's Wallace standing next to us. He is the gym leader. He's the final gym leader. He's the gym leader of Sootopolis. And this is where having a strong poison type move, I forgot to repel. Normally it wears out a little later, like I said. Hello, Zubat.
Ooh, there's a little extra one in there for you.
A little freebie, just to give you a free sample.
That's right. Donate, folks, and you get Pokemon noises from the runner. We have just over $700 left to go. We need to hit 12,500 for that milestone, that glitched fight at the end with lots of funny things, I hear, to watch.
Yep, and we're on the last gym leader pretty soon, so get those donations in now. We're going to be fighting the Elite Four soon, and that's the end. Once we're done with the Elite Four, we're done. So if you want that little bit of bonus content, get your donations in before the end.
We do have $100 from Thomas. Thank you so much. Hello from the crowd. Let's go. And $21 from Liger. Love getting to be in the audience again at GDQ. Thank you so much for being here, Liger. Let's get to that glitch fight. Yes, folks, let's get to that glitch fight. We are so, so, so close.
All right, we use a couple extra bonus candies here, and then we just escape rope. Oh, and I also need to teach waterfall before I fight.
I love how the story literally like puts you in front of Kyogre and we just run away.
Yep.
Don't want him.
We don't need Kyogre. Our our water-based red and blue colored Pokemon is already obtained.
We already have it.
Another one.
And her name is Morn Glory.
Yep. That was pretty clean movement. Getting right into that sign saves you a few frames because it means that you can bike for an extra step instead of surfing for an extra step. It's always nice to get that movement. At full speed, the Mach Bike is moving a tile every 4 frames, so that's pretty tight. All right, let's not mess this up. I always get nervous here, even though I've done it hundreds of times. Okay, I bonked, which scared the heck out of me. Okay, good.
Nice. I was almost a little scared because you didn't say before, but I was like, nah, it's fine.
I'm not that nervous. But yeah, if you fall there, you're fighting many trainers to try to do it again. Love disc. Oops, not yet.
Love disc. I would love for us to hit this milestone for that extra glitch fight at $12,500. We are $730 away, folks. What can I do? What can I do? I'll do anything. I'm not above anything. What can I do to get y'all to donate to Able Gamers? Let me know.
All right, setting up 1X attack. Hopefully we don't get body slam paralyzed. Awesome.
Nice.
That is kind of like a recurring theme in this category is body slam paralysis. There are a lot of mons that use body slam. There is Flannery's Torkoal can body slam. That Celio can body slam. The Walrein later on can body slam. And there's probably more that I'm missing. Oh, and the Voltorb on Watson's fight can use Spark, which is basically just an electric type body slam because it also has a 30% chance to paralyze. So that's why really the only healing item that we need is paralyze heals. So that's really the only thing that happens very often.
Yeah, we got our last gym badge.
All 8.
Woo! We have a great pun here. $50 from Alien Crustacean. We have been really slacking on the puns today. I don't think it's too much to ninjask for some absolutely bad puns.
Wow. that was awesome.
3 in a row. That was awesome.
Those are like 3 really cool Pokemon as well.
Yeah, only $720 to go. We're chipping away at that. Keep chipping away. Every dollar makes a difference, folks. If you've got $5, donate now. Let's get that incentive. Let's get that milestone for that glitched fight at the end of the run here. We don't have much time. You think you got some time, you don't got much time. Get those donations in.
All we have is the Elite Four, and then we're done.
It'll be pretty fast. These fights go by pretty quick. Even though they have a lot of Pokemon, it'll fly by. It's pretty crazy. We got to get through Victory Road before we can actually start fighting the Elite Four, but that goes pretty quick as well. And then, yeah, no water biking here, unfortunately. You can do it, but one of the problems is that this waterfall coming up, they, for some reason, coded into the game, you cannot waterfall unless you are surfing. So even if you bike all the way here, which would probably be faster if it worked, but if you bike all the way here, it will not let you climb that waterfall. And so for that reason, you'd have to dive down to reactivate surf mode, and then it makes it slower because doing that whole animation takes a lot of time.
Excuse me, I can't math at all. It's $820 left. But let's make that $720.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Sludge Bomb is really good for these Roselias, actually. There's not all that many grass-type Pokemon that you fight in this game. You know, there's like the rivals Trico/Grovyle, which only really exists if you choose Mudkip. In this case, we are using Mudkip. And then there's a few Roselias, but other than that, there's not really all that much. But for those few instances, Sludge Bomb is really good because water-type moves are resisted by grass. A big part of the optimization of this route is figuring out where can we use moves that are neutral effectiveness instead of using super effective or not very effective moves. Because you can see when it says it's super effective, that takes like 1.5 seconds to print out. And so that adds up a lot over the course of the run. So one of the original routes that I think maybe BluJei mentioned was we would actually go to level 100 and then just sweep the game without really any issues at all. The problem with that is, well, there's a lot that went into the route change. But the interesting part of routing that was that you are so strong that you can really afford to use moves even if they're not super effective. And so that ended up saving a lot of time where you can just spam. We actually taught Tentacruel Facade in that route, which is just a normal type move that you get from Norman. And that's literally just because normal type isn't super effective against anything and it doesn't have many resistances. So it's neutral against most things. One of the big benefits of level 100 as well is that when you're level 100, you get no experience animations or text boxes, and that was why level 100 was used for a while. And level 100 probably still would be optimal if we hadn't discovered this new tile corruption glitch where we can walk on the water on Route 103. That specific corruption was not known about originally, and that actually, it lines things up a lot better to use lower levels.
We are $220 away from $12,000 for able gamers, folks. Can we get to $12,000 here in the next 3 minutes? Can we get to 158, $12,000? We have a $25 donation from Anonymous, helping get closer to the glitch fight. Thank you so much for contributing. Blue, can you sell that glitch fight for us one more time for anyone that's just joining in the audience and doesn't know what we're working towards?
Yeah, for anyone that's joining, so there is, with the mail glitch, there is a setup that allows us to spawn a trainer that should not really exist, and it has a Pokemon that also should not really exist. It's not a normal Pokemon, it's a glitched Pokemon that, unless you're really familiar with Generation 3 glitches, you probably haven't seen before. And we're going to take that trainer on as kind of the true final boss of this run, if we make it to that incentive. So get those donations in soon. We are rapidly approaching the end of the main game.
Oh, we are, and we just hit $12,000. Thank you all so much. And we are zooming towards that incentive. Only $370 left. We need to hit $12,500, folks. Less than $400 left to go. Keep them coming, folks. Thank you for supporting such an amazing cause and an amazing couch and runner.
All right, and we even get a funny number as our level for a little while. So, you know, if you're not going to donate for that, what are you going to donate for? Yeah, that won't last too long. These later trainers give quite a bit of experience.
What level will we reach at the end of the run? Will it be 70?
I believe it's 72. We'll barely hit 72 after like the last Pokemon in the run.
72. So folks, how do you feel about another last-ditch train to try and get that milestone for $7.20? Make it fun at, will 2 hours be okay? 2 hours? Run won't be over by then? Okay, at the 2 hour mark, get your phones out, get your tabs ready. Let's get those donations and let's hit this milestone. $12,500, folks. Y'all have done so much during this run. It's been so fun. Let's go out with a bang, excitement.
We're gonna take our Tentacruel. We just deposited it and took it back out to heal it. It's actually faster than using the Pokemon Center, which is kind of interesting. Normally, we would deposit all of our Pokemon because then when the Hall of Fame credits play, it's a little bit slower with showing all the Pokemon. But we're actually going to keep them. For one, because I did that water biking setup, we still have mail on all of our Pokemon. You cannot deposit a Pokemon into the PC if it's holding a mail, which is kind of weird if you don't really know like the inner workings of how mail is stored. But you'd have to take all the mails off basically to put them in the PC.
We have $100 from Shu Maiko. 936. Cyndaquil Evolution Tree will always be my number one. Thank you for sharing. We are now $120. Only $120 away from this milestone. Thank you all so much for these donations. Oh my gosh, there's flooding in. I don't want to talk over you, Blue. Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Popple, thank you so much for the $50 donation. I'm all for more Pokemon puns until you're feeling Bulbasaur. Glad to be here in person for this run. Thank you so much. I love Bulbasaur, so thanks for that, Popple. $25 from Tentacruel Wears Prada. Thank you so much. Krauster, thank you so much. Krauster TKC. I've been watching for years on Twitch, and I'm glad to attend TwitchCon and GDQX this year. Woo! Thank you so much, Krauster. Anonymous, thank you so much for that $100. Oh my goch, we hit the, yes, can we have some hype? Thank you so much for hitting that milestone and $12,500 for Able Gamers Foundation. Thank you so much. Do we have time for more? We've got, okay. We have $25 from DNA Bro. Hello from the crowd. Hello, DNA Bro. Excited to be here. And can I say, Trico is easily the best Gen 3 starter.
All right, I need to hit this Hydro Pump on this Dusclops or I'm in big trouble. Luckily, I have my backup Pokemon that I can switch around, but this Dusclops loves to use Curse, which will reduce your HP by 1/4 every turn. So we need to one-shot this. Nice.
Ooh, let's have some hype for that hit. And thank you so much, folks. That $7.20 train did take off at 2 hours. Can we see some of those come in? Thank you so much for hitting that milestone. Can we push? We're getting close to $13,000, folks. Can we hit $13,000 before the end of this run in this showcase?
That would be crazy. We got like 3 fights left to go, so.
I believe in you guys.
Easy peasy, easy peasy. I can see that number going up. Anonymous, thank you for that $100 donation. Another, Anonymous is doing work. Another $150 from Anonymous. I'm listening in from the Nom Nom Theater, but let's hit that milestone. Thank you so much for helping us hit that. Meek Rhino, thank you so much for the $7.20. Choo choo. $100 from Kamikaze Jawa. I've been watching for almost 10 years now. First time in the audience. Are you here still? Hello? Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, Glacia is another tough fight for Tentacruel, being that it's all poison or all water types and ice types. We can't really use water super effectively. So we're gonna need some X attacks to boost our Sludge Bombs. We really want this to not use Hail. It's pretty random. If it doesn't use Hail, we save so much time. Okay, Crunch, just light screen or Crunch, and we're golden. Nice. That's awesome. That saves like 20 plus seconds.
Hail is just so slow because it's another text box like every turn.
Take chip damage every turn, you get that text box. It's super, super slow. All right, we're not completely out of the woods yet. We have to take a Body Slam from Walrein. Walrein is incredibly bulky and will not even die to a Sludge Bomb at +2 X attacks. So we're gonna need to weaken it a little.
We just hit $13,000.
Wow.
$13,000 for Able Gamers. Let's go. Y'all are amazing. Anonymous, thank you so much for the $13 for 13K. Thank you. All your donations are making such a huge difference. Let's have some hype for this amazing showcase from BluMagma and the wonderful commentary for bloojei. Some more hype and some claps.
Thank you guys so much. This is so awesome.
And no body slam paralysis, so we're somewhat in the clear. We're gonna heal to full before Drake, because we're gonna need to set up a little bit on Drake.
But he's the last Elite Four before the champion.
Yep. Any guesses who the champion is? We've been talking about him a lot. He has an interesting interior design philosophy, as we've seen. Yep, and we're really close to done. We're a few minutes away now. So look forward to that Glitch Trainer battle. It's short but sweet, you know, it's not too long to get it set up. And there's actually only one Pokemon that the true final boss actually has.
But it's one that we're pretty sure you've never seen before.
And this is where Clear Body is really good. This gives us the opportunity to set up on Shelgon, where normally it does have Rock Tomb, and generally it'll spam Rock Tomb because the smart AI is programmed to go for speed lowering moves if it's lower than you, and we are faster than the Shelgon, so it keeps trying to lower our speed. But we have Clear Body as our ability, so it'll just keep trying to use it, and we won't actually get speed dropped. It's really convenient. I did not mean to click that. That was a misclick. That's okay. Oh, that's annoying. Some time loss. That's okay.
We have a $250 donation from Indy Falco 64. Thank you so much. Hi, I see you waving. Thank you so much for that support and helping us hit that milestone. You're absolutely wonderful, and all of you here are wonderful listening in.
Level 71.
We're almost there.
All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a backup strat here. Okay. That's fine. We should still be faster. I hope so, at least. Good.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. No problem. And then the last mon, which Clear Body is also super important for this. Epic Elements. But you cannot intimidate me. Morning Glory is too confident in herself.
She's a queen. And that's the last of the Elite Four.
Last member. Now it's the champ. All right. I will try not to die, so I'll heal a little bit. I think now we literally... there's probably like a 0.01% chance that we could die here, but it's very low. I think we would need to get like double high roll critical hits from Aerial Ace, and it's not even guaranteed to use Aerial Ace. You can use spikes just as often. So we're gonna need 2 X specials. And we have exactly 2. Okay, good, it didn't crit me. Yeah, and we're safe now.
Nice.
Awesome. We're gonna be a little careful with how many surfs we use. We need surf for Metagross and Cradily. They're pretty bulky even with Waterfall, or even versus Waterfall. So we're gonna use Waterfall on everything else. That's
Hey.
like my second favorite cry in the game, so I had to give that one away as well.
Another freebie for ya.
All right, now we just spam surf. Steven's team is remarkably weak to water. In glitchless and in any percent, you really just spam surf and waterfall the whole time. In glitchless, you use Kyogre and kind of just spam surf. And then in any percent, we have our Tenta. Last one. And GG.
That's it. Woo!
And we'll go through the Hall of Fame, and then once we're in the Hall of Fame, that'll be time. But we'll leave the timer because we have that true ending that all of you wonderful audience members, everybody watching and donating, all of you generously got us to that true ending, that glitch trainer incentive. So thank you all very much for that.
Because we will just be kind of spamming through to the end here. I do want to take the time to shout out the Pokemon speedrunning community. They're just so awesome. If you want to know anything about Pokemon speedrunning, like this game, Sapphire, or Fire Red Leaf Green, any of those games, join the Pokemon speedrunning Discord. There's so many resources on there. They are just so awesome.
Yep. Shout outs to Alwo and Icy. I think I mentioned them earlier. They both helped a lot with the routing of all of this. And then shout outs to my parents back home in Indiana, if they're watching. And then shout outs to everyone in the GDQ, in terms of staff. Shout outs to everybody in the audience and watching from home. We appreciate you all very much. And if you want to see more runs like this, I stream at twitch.tv/BluMagma7. I do glitchless, I do any percent, I do catch 'em all.
I have also had my fair share trying Pokemon Sapphire. I do personally do more Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door though, a little unrelated, but that's just me. And there is the credits, but we'll
We're
skip that.
Skip the credits for the sake of time.
We don't need that.
We want to fight this mysterious final boss as soon as possible.
Oh, and our dad's home. That's rare.
Yeah, our dad is finally here. He gives us a ticket to a boat.
Thanks, Dad.
And then
he leaves.
Yeah, better than nothing, I guess. Okay, so we got to do a bit of a setup here. It's a pretty quick setup, and this will be a kind of a cool way to show off what else you can do with the mail glitch. So there's more than just simple tile corruptions that you can do, like we did to get our Tentacool initially. There's some really weird stuff that you can do, and you saw a sneak peek when we did that water biking trick. Here, just repel. I tried not to hit any trainers. Oops, okay, good. And then this guy will give us secret power. So, we need secret power for some reason to access this mysterious trainer, this mysterious battle. We gotta teach it to Morn Glory just for a reward to honor her success.
For victory.
All right. Oh, okay. We use secret power. Create a secret base. Sure, seems like a good place. Okay. And then, actually, I don't really want to be here. Let's instead go to, I don't know, Slateport. Why not?
My jaw is dropping.
Sure, we'll just go over here, I guess. Might as well. Let's give Castform a piece of mail. Let's do... I don't know, random word just off the top of my head. Volt absorb? Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Okay. It's our base again. And then we're actually going to pack up. You know, I don't really like this base anymore. It's giving me kind of the creeps. Like, how is it in multiple places at once? And then actually, I changed my mind. I want another one. So, you know, let's just do another Volt Absorb. All right, there we go. Well, hello there. This was supposed to be my base. Can I have it back, please? I have made a secret base already. It was mine. You went everywhere before choosing this place. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna have to fight him for it, I guess. It makes us save the game, which is how we know it's an intense battle. Okay, here we go. The mysterious glitched Pokemon.
He's just a youngster.
Youngster. That's why I couldn't say his name earlier. It does not exist.
Truly doesn't have one.
All right.
And it also looks like he has no Pokemon.
But he does. Let's see who it is.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. Level 0.
Maybe not a good lead-in for Pokemon.
No HP. You know. Ooh, let's see if we can catch him. That would be cool. He's gone. He's gone? Okay. Okay, but, well, I don't...
Can't be a thief, though.
Well, we got a big 1 experience. Awesome. And we've won the battle.
Let's go!
So that is time. We got $0 for winning as well. What do you? So he still won't give us our secret base back. He says, "Come back and try again tomorrow." But that's the kind of glitch trainer battle. It has 0 Pokemon, which is why it sends out a glitched Pokemon, and it's that question mark, sometimes called a Deca mark, and it's pretty cool. You can do some pretty cool stuff with that. There's no real way to actually like continue that fight. It'll always die in 1 turn because it has 0 HP. But it's pretty funny just as a short little showcase. So I hope you all enjoyed. Again, shout outs to everyone here for setting this all up. Shout outs to everyone that donated and supported. You are all very, very awesome. And thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you TwitchCon, thank you GDQ.